Third down and goal for the 9. Payne gives the backfield. 3-man rush. He bounces around. He throws. ET is there. Are they going to say touchdown? Touchdown! Demaryius Thomas. Touchdown! It's got it! Touchdown! In the end zone, and it's recovered by Malik Jackson for the touchdown. It was Vaughn Miller with the strip sack.
What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome to another episode of the Broncos Fancast. My name is Aaron Johnson. I'm your host. And just like the Broncos, I'm dealing with a little injury myself. But if Judy can play through a rib injury and Russell Wilson can play through a shoulder injury for Broncos country, then I can play through this neck injury for Broncos country and make a video. So welcome to the show. Really wanted to start off talking about my extreme hate for the Raiders, but it seems like the injuries have been kind of taken away from that. As much as I hate the Raiders, they completely kicked our ass in the game. No excuses whatsoever. Like the Seattle game, we had a fumble, both fumbles. If we connect on one of those, then we win the game. There was none of that with the Raiders. They just beat our ass all up and down the field. They ran the ball right down our gullets, and we couldn't stop it. So much as I hate to say this, credit to the Raiders for just beating our asses. No way around it. We shouldn't have won that game. Either way you look at it. I think our defense was exposed. Our run D looked just pathetic. The play calling to me wasn't very good. I feel like we're doing a lot of predictable run plays, which is probably why our run game looks so bad. On top of that, injuries. Javonte Williams out for the season. Oh, baby, that one hurt. And I just hope that the injury guys can take a break on us for the rest of the season because we're going to need it. It seems like this season is going to be a figuring it out season because things are taking a little too long to form together like we expected it to. Hopefully we can squeak out enough games that by the time playoff comes and we've gotten to the point of where we need to get to and we can make a run. So I still believe that can happen. We got to start fixing our issues a little bit quicker than what we've been doing or else we're not going to have a record good enough for playoffs. Right now we're 2-2. And if we do lose this next game, that'll put us at 2-3. And I know everybody likes to compare the start of Russell Wilson to when Peyton Manning started. He started out 2-3, and it was finally when they played the Chargers Monday Night Football. Or I'm not sure. I can't remember if it was Monday Night Football. It might have been, but we were down 24-0 and came back and won. And from that point on, we just took off for the rest of the season. I'm not exactly sure if that's going to be the case this time. We are 2-3. But we look like a much, much sloppier 2-3 than what Peyton Manning looked like. On top of that, teams are just a lot better now, too, than they were then with the Bills, the Chiefs, and, there's just a lot of teams that seem like powerhouse teams. So we're not going to have that luxury to waste games anymore at this point in the season. We've already lost 2 games we should have won. At least on paper, we should have won. Seattle and the Raiders, which Seattle we should have, but the Raiders beat our ass. Fuck the Raiders. I fucking hate them. So, this episode, it's going to be a Colts preview. We're going to try to move on from this past week, see if we can turn over a new leaf here and show some promise for the rest of the season. So, with that being said, let's get into the show. So, the Colts. Is Jonathan Taylor playing? Oh, okay. Well, Jonathan Taylor's not playing, so positive sign for the Broncos' chances to win this week. With that being said, Jonathan Taylor, even though he hasn't been playing very good this season, this is kind of how he started off last season, and we see how that turned out for him. So I think it's a positive for us, obviously, that he's out this week, even though he hasn't been playing great this season, because you never know when he's just going to take off like he did last season. So it's not going to be this week. And thank goodness, because our run D looked fucking pathetic. So can't afford to have any good running backs against us this week while we're getting all that figured out. I think we have a really good chance to win this game. Matt Ryan looks like ass so far this season. Jonathan Taylor hasn't looked great. He won't be there, though. I really think this is a must-win game, but we should win this game. The only thing that worries me a little bit is the fact that it was a short week. We've been beat up, and as much as we need to work on, we need every day we can to prepare. So hopefully we don't get caught lacking again this week like we did last week. I don't know what it is about the fucking Raiders and playing in Las Vegas or previously Oakland, but it just seems like we got those white uniforms on in Oakland, we get our asses beat. So at least next time, let's see a jersey switch up or something. So I'm really looking forward to us possibly kind of getting our shit together in this game, because if not, then we're staring down a grim season, I think, if we lose to the Seahawks, the Raiders, and the Colts. How are we supposed to beat the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Bills down the road if we see them in the playoffs? Honestly, the thing I need to see most for me is the offensive play calling be better, because to me it still doesn't seem like Russell Wilson is that comfortable in the offense yet. And I know he's trying to immerse himself in the offense, because look what it's done for Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back MVPs over the last 2 seasons, not getting hit nearly as much, getting the ball out early, and just putting up great numbers. So I understand why Russell Wilson wants to dedicate himself to that offense as opposed to running for his life every week. I would just like to see some plays dialed up where the possibility of him using his legs is there, so the defenses can be on top of it. And we just need that as a bailout option anyways. The thing that's bothering me most, like I said before, is just the play calling. I feel like we're not as creative as I would like us to be. We'll throw a creative pass play in there here and there. Like, our pass plays are creative, but our run plays are just first down run, second down run, and they're very predictable, and it's why we can't really get our run game going. So I would love to see that change a little bit, maybe a little bit more creative style runs. Maybe hand it to Jerry Judy for the jet sweep one time. We're seeing some of the same Pat Shurmur type stuff, a bunch of fake jet sweeps with Jerry Judy. The defense is never going to fall for it because he never gets the ball, even though he's one of the faster players on the team. So I would like to see some of that change up a little bit. Russell Wilson as well, after looking at the game tape before, he missed a couple balls. Jerry Judy, man, that man is open every damn play. So if we can just find a way to lock eyes with him or something, because I don't know, he needs to be getting the ball more. We missed him on a 3rd and 16 for a touchdown last game. Just one of the most beautiful route, and then Russell Wilson looked it off. It's happened multiple times. I think that Russell Wilson needs to get a little bit more comfortable in the pocket and just let it rip out there, because I've seen him look off passes that ended up being wide open. So it's still a process, I think, and we're going to figure it out. It's just taking a little longer than usual. So with all that being said, I think that the Broncos are going to be able to, step up their run game this week for obvious reasons, because Jonathan Taylor's out. Matt Ryan's been looking like ass, which means the receivers should also look like ass. So hopefully they don't find a way to turn that around themselves. But that'll be tough against Patrick Surtain, because he's the best cornerback in the NFL at this point. So I think we're really going to kind of have our way. It's the trenches where we got our asses handed to us last week, which is why we couldn't stop anything. So if we can win the trenches this week, I think that we'll be able to win this game handily. I think the final score is going to be 31-14. We finally get our offense clicking a little bit more. And I think if we don't beat them, then we'll take a look at Nathaniel Hackett's seat, and you're going to start to feel a little warmth there. That's all I have for this episode for you. Game later today. Let's go handle our business so we can get back on track. We're only 2-2 right now. A game out of first place in the division. We have long ways to go. Even if we did lose this game, the season's not over, but it's just a lot of bad signs. And so let's go out there and get this dub. I feel like we can end up being like the Giants when they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl. They just were kind of a figuring it out team throughout the season. Then when they hit the playoffs, they made their run and it worked out for them. So I think if we can squeeze ourselves into the playoffs, then we can be able to do the same thing. Us terrorizing the NFL, I think we might have been just a year early on that one. That's when it happens next year. But that doesn't mean this year is over. Like I said, I think we can squeeze into these playoffs and make a run from that point. We just got to gel at the right time, because that's what it's about in the playoffs. And we have the defense to do so for sure. We just got to get our run game going. Damn, Javonte Williams. Like I said, that's all I have for today. So let's go handle business in Broncos country. Let's get healthy, and then let's ride. Thank you for tuning in to the Broncos Fancast. I love the fuck out of you guys. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, and show your boy some love.